it says preparing to go live. And what's interesting is from this time, it is actually live. So, which we only learned afterwards on previous occasions. There you go. And I'll get you the link.
I'm going to stop sharing quickly so that I can post it on LinkedIn.
And there's the link. Cool. I'll hang around for a few minutes just to make sure that everything's good. As I said, I've got another workshop in the room next door. You've got 8 people in the waiting room, Lisa, but you've still got 3 minutes.
Craig, where did you put the
in the chat? Where do you want it?
That's perfect.
I can put it on thing as well. Telegram.
Cool.
Cool. 9 people in the waiting room. Looking promising.
Yeah, it's very niche, this.
Sure. I mean, we want people who want to create knowledge nuggets. Don't expect a huge crowd today, necessarily. Do you want me to make you host again, Liesel?
Yeah. Please, I don't see the YouTube link in the chat. Zoom chat, please.
I put it both in the Zoom chat and I posted it to the waiting room.
Hopefully everybody show up now.
Yeah, it goes. Here it comes. Sorry about that. And I don't think you can delete.
Okay, we posted. No, you can't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Okay,
So that's silly. Yeah, you should be able to delete. Okay, and then I'll make you host.
Please.
Change host.
Okay. I'm going to quickly share screen. Okay, not seeing the notes. Good.
Yeah, that's working.
I'm admitting. I'm going to make you host now, Lloyd.
Okay.
And then you can admit immediately. Thank you.
Okay, admit all.
Yes.
Okay.
Morning, everyone. Welcome. We are very happy to see you all here at this morning's masterclass, how to launch your first premium content in only 6 steps. We are busy admitting everybody. We've got quite a few people coming in. So we will give it a couple of minutes and then we will get going. In the meantime, please do say hi in the chat. Again, some of you know the usual welcoming from our side. So hi in the chat. Tell us where you're from. Tell us whether you're also freezing today or not. And also maybe let us know what you do. That would be great. Great. We've got quite a few people coming in here. Some of our regular community members, welcome again. And then Lloyd, we have quite a few new names here as well.
Yeah, morning everybody. I'm just looking at the participants and it's great to see some new names and some old names. That's got nothing to do with age, I promise.
Oh, warm in Durban. Lucky you. Karen, I hope Cape Town's weather is treating you well this morning. We're hearing all the reports up here in Johannesburg. And Craig's message there, if you see ExoFutures to everyone, that's Craig, who's also here with us for a few minutes, but he'll have to pop out because, as you saw in that message, he's busy democratizing water, another exciting project that we are busy with.
There's lots of Joe burgers with us today.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Just a few more seconds. How does it look on your side there, Lloyd?
Yeah, we're looking good. Nobody's in the waiting room at the moment. We can give them another minute, and then once you start, I'll just keep letting people in.
Oh, excellent. When I listen to the recordings of all our sessions, I've noticed that I use the word excellent quite a lot. So when I used it now, it immediately reminded me of that. Good. I also have the chat here. And yes, Sean, we are going to share the recordings and all the assets from here. We're sharing all those links at the end. Welcome, Guy from cloudy Cape Town, and so on. So if I may just ask that you mute yourself, that would be great, because we are live streaming as we speak to YouTube as well. And we are going to press the record button now, if you don't mind, Lloyd.
Clicking record.
Great. Then I think it's a good time to start. Do you agree? Shall we get going then? So yeah, a warm welcome to everybody here this morning. I know it's very cold in some areas today, with Cape Town sending us some lovely cold weather. And we are in the midst of going into winter here in South Africa. So I'm trying to send some heat your way with saying a very warm welcome to everyone. And again, thank you so much for joining us today at our How to Launch Your First Premium Content in Only 6 Steps Masterclass. We are very grateful again that you could join us here, and we hope that we will add some value to you being here today. Now, I'm Liesl van Rooyen. For those of you who are new here, I'm working with Craig Blanche, who's the founder of ExoFutures Academy and the Democratising Entrepreneurship in Africa community. And we are democratizing entrepreneurship, and we are democratizing education and water and everything else, which is terribly exciting. So I would like you to ask you up front to please get some pen and paper ready. The only way you are really going to benefit from this masterclass today is by actively participating in the activities that I am going to share with you. By the end of this masterclass, you're going to have a rough draft of your first knowledge nugget right up to structure level. And that is terribly exciting. And also, by the way, everything you're going to learn today and get access to today, you can use for your more detailed content in terms of training content, like minimal viable courses and core offerings. Obviously, deep diving a little bit more into detail for those kind of online education programs. And I use the word education, and I try to deliberately not to do that because it takes me back to traditional education in my brain. Also, the best way to view my presentation is to put your Zoom view into speaker view. Then you can see the full presentation, and I've also pinned myself, and then you'll see myself and the presentation very well. Now, the purpose of this masterclass is to get you started on creating your first premium content. Now, premium is paid for content, and we're going to specifically focus on a knowledge nugget so that you can monetize your expertise. We are inviting you to please continue post comments and chats into the Zoom chat and ask questions there. I know Lloyd is keeping a close eye on that. And also, I've got the Zoom chat open here to my right-hand side. So if I look there, it's because I'm having a look at what's happening in the chats as well. So again, I hope you have grabbed pen and paper already, because I'm about to remind you of doing that again. And also, please from a participation perspective is that we like learning from each other. So when I invite you to please share some of the feedback in the Zoom chat, please do so. You might just trigger a thought in somebody's mind, give somebody an idea, which will help them in turn. So, and this masterclass is also a follow-up from last week's masterclass, where we run from freemium to premium. This is where we took you through how you can take a free offer to a premium offer. Don't worry if you didn't attend that. We are going to share the link with you to that playlist and the collateral from that masterclass in the Zoom chat as well. So I'm going to focus on summarizing 2 key points from that masterclass because it will serve a great purpose here. So let's get going. How will we achieve our purpose for this masterclass this morning? We are first going to quickly summarize what we mean by a knowledge nugget, and this is content from last week's masterclass. And then we're also just going to look at, again, what are the benefits of monetizing your knowledge, your skills, and your expertise. We're going to go through these points quite quickly. And then finally, we are going to get stuck into the 6 steps to monetize your first premium knowledge nuggets, your first premium content, which is the first level of doing premium content with us. And as I said earlier, have that pen and paper or pencil and paper ready because it's going to be very practical. Let's remind ourselves quickly of what a knowledge nugget is. So as I said, a knowledge nugget is our very first level premium offering, which we help our guest speakers and our community to embark on with us. Just quickly, in summary, there are 4 levels available. So the first one is the knowledge nuggets. The second level is where you create a minimal viable course. Talk to me about that, and there's also a detail around that in the playlist that Lloyd will share. And then the third level is your core offering up to where we look at a premium offer. We are only focusing on that knowledge nugget because what we have found with our previous guest speakers from masterclasses, where it's a free offering, that step or that leap from a free masterclass to a minimal viable course is too big, especially if you have not done any course content creation before, so that it can become a little bit intimidating. So let's take baby steps in helping us forward to create our first knowledge nugget. Good. So for the purpose of today, it's very important that we therefore remind ourselves of what the characteristics of a knowledge nugget are. Keep in mind there are other characteristics and none of this is fixed. So let's have a quick look at that. First, it is disruptive in learning. What this means, it's future focused as well. So we do not try to solve a problem that exists today with tools from yesterday. We're trying to solve a problem that exists for our target customer with tools that will help them in future as well. And even sometimes tools that doesn't exist yet, which you create. And we've got methods to help you become creative around that. Good. So that's very important. Then also in terms of the knowledge nugget, we only achieve one outcome here. If you think of traditional learning or your more core offerings, there are multiple outcomes that's achieved in a more correlated offering from a training perspective. Now, our knowledge nugget will only focus on achieving one outcome. Also, it's approximately 5 minutes, and this is definitely a guideline. I've created a knowledge nugget this week, which is 8 minutes long, but I still achieve some of the key characteristics in that. So this is a guideline for you. It's also easily consumed and makes for better knowledge retention. So however you structure your content, and you're going to get a brilliant method to do that today, is it will enable the person who is learning from your knowledge nugget to learn immediately, retain the knowledge, and then help them solve problems in the real world immediately. So when they've completed your knowledge nugget, they must be able to walk away, apply what they've learned, and solve that problem. Now, with that in mind, essentially learners can simply also just access the topic of their interest and achieve their learning goals within minutes. So what that means is that you have multiple knowledge nuggets. Your learner looks for what they need. They select from what is available in the pool of knowledge nuggets because it's a problem, a unique problem they have, and they have only one problem to solve. And then they accept that, and then they can also solve that problem immediately. So that's very much in contrast with full courses. So nuggets are created with the specific intention to serve as a complete and a concise standalone unit. Please keep that in mind, because often we go and overthink this. We end up with too much content and we do not deliver on the purpose or the objectives of the knowledge nugget. Now, in this modern world we live in, you also need to be aware of this. There's very little time available. If I can ask for a raise of hands, I won't be able to see your hands here. I'm sure that very few of us present here today have time to learn, because we are focusing so much on growing our business or just getting to daily tasks, etc. So research has been done by many of our very large consulting firms. And what they found, that 86% of the people that were surveyed will tell you that they prefer, in today's world, to learn from knowledge nuggets and not full program offerings. Keep that also in mind. And it might make sense to you as well. If I can only get one nugget that will help me right now solve this problem right now, I'd rather invest in that than a core offering. There is a place for everything. Please also note that I'm not dismissing anything else at the same time. So I would also like to summarize quickly the benefits we discussed last week when we talked to how you can monetize and why you should consider monetizing your knowledge, your skills, and your expertise. Now, Craig, earlier on this week on LinkedIn, when I started sharing little free nuggets from the snippets from last week, Friday's masterclass, he quoted on one of the nuggets that I've shared, and I'm going to quote that here because I found that very, very insightful, and the statement really nails why we should consider monetizing our skills, our expertise, and our knowledge. So, quoting Craig, for me, the key opportunity in digitizing your knowledge is that in sharing your knowledge nuggets, you ultimately spend less time working in the business as you free up your time to share your knowledge with your tribe, allowing more time for you to work on the business and execute your vision and drive and scale your purpose. Think of it as having a digital twin, which you have created, doing the training, doing the coaching and marketing for you online all the time, while your time's freed up to focus on what matters. Now, as I said, I think this statement nails it. So, as I said, Craig is busy democratizing the supply of water as we speak. So he's not here with us this morning. He was here just earlier to get us set up on YouTube. So I think that's a very, very valuable statement. So over and above creating an additional income stream to earn money from, other benefits also includes that you get the opportunity to share your skills and your knowledge with others around you. Now, that's practicing an abundance mindset to help others succeed. And we went into some detail on abundance mindset last week. Also, it gives you the opportunity to build your brand. It also helps you to establish and grow your authority in your industry. It also generates tons of leads for you. And this is qualified leads because people show up. The people who buy your knowledge nuggets are people who are interested in what you have to say. The content can also then obviously be repurposed into blogs and videos and other forms of learning assets. You also reach people from anywhere in the world. And yes, we have quite a few people here from Johannesburg today, but we also have people in our community in India and Russia and England, in the USA, in different parts of South Africa, Tanzania and Kenya and Namibia as well, who is part of our community, and we reach them on a weekly basis. You also get the opportunity to interact with your target audience and get feedback from them immediately. So when you set up your nugget on the right platform and you enable feedback and comments, you get feedback immediately from them. And also, you become, and you also establish trust and authority for your business and your product offering. And I can take you through this in detail when you decide to launch a knowledge nugget with us. And finally, it will help you take those very first steps towards digitizing your business. I'm sure we can come up with many more benefits, which may be very specific to your unique needs and why you are here today. And I'm happy to do that with you. But this just summarizes some of the benefits that you will obtain by monetizing your skills, your knowledge, and your experience. So Lloyd will share the playlist from last week with you, in which we unpacked each of these benefits in a little bit more detail. I'm also going to make sure that we reshare this later, so I wouldn't like you to get distracted now and miss out on us jumping right into creating your first premium offer, which will be a knowledge nugget today. So in order to do this, we are going to cover 6 steps to help us do this. And as I've mentioned earlier, have that pen and paper ready, because we are going to do some practical work. So the first step will be that we are first going to look at how we identify a winning topic, and you are going to have a go at that this morning. Then we are going to create a structure for that knowledge nugget, which we will also do this morning. Then we will construct your content, which is also part of what we are going to do today. And then I will provide you with an overview on creating your slides and infographic, or whatever platform you are going to select to present your content on. And so then in addition to that, using voiceovers to bring your content to life. And then finally, let's talk about launching your knowledge nugget and what that entails. So are we ready to get going? Can I get some yeses there, just to see if we still have people who are eager to take this next step with us? Just in the chat. Wonderful. They're coming in, hey? Well, brilliant. Yippee. Brian, that's excellent. I haven't heard yippee for a while. So let's get started in step 1, identifying that winning topic. So whether you have designed training content before or written a book, Brian, I know you've written a little ebook before, hosted a workshop, or even if you are new to course content design, you've probably had several ideas for your first topic, and in this case, your first online course topic. Now there's a catch. You have no clue which one of those many brilliant ideas you've had will actually sell. I know there's also someone here today who's actually launched a product, an online course, and it's not selling. Now, there's reasons for that. So in this section, we are going to narrow down your course topic list. First, going to identify a list if you don't have one, and then I'm going to help you choose a topic that your target audience will love. Now, again, there's 5 steps here. Don't get worried about all the steps. You're also going to see that I'm breaking some of the rules I'm going to share later in what a good construct of a presentation slide should look like. And the reason I'm breaking those rules and sharing more detail on the slide is you receiving these slides as a handout so that you can just refer back to it later and not just read keywords. So please forgive me for breaking the rules I'm sharing with you later. These steps in defining your winning topic includes: how do I go about discovering my big idea, which is going to sell? Then how do I identify a niche for this big idea I have? How do I then pinpoint my avatars? Avatars, just a beautiful word for my target and ideal audience, that whom I would like to sell my product to. How do I identify their number one problem? Because I want to solve a problem. If I have solving a problem, people will buy my course. And how do I create the solution for my avatar's number one problem? And finally, how do I position my solution as a winning course topic? Now, we are going to spend time on this. It's very important because I've seen many times how course creators skip this step. They dive immediately into putting the structure of their course together and content, and they launch. And then they understand, or they just don't understand, why is nobody buying it, or why is only a few people buying it, and why am I not getting referrals? We need to start here. Now, We are going to talk about discovering your big idea right at the beginning. Very important for you to know that at the very beginning, your big idea is going to be a combination of two things: your expertise and your passion, mainly. Then sprinkled in with some market demand, because market demand has to be there. If there's no market demand for your passion and your expertise, and no niche market demand, then nobody will buy. But we need to start with what matters most, and that is your passion and expertise. Good. So we're not going to focus on market demand today, because we will be covering that when we work with you in launching your first knowledge nugget. And that's a whole subject on its own. And we have a subject matter expert present here today, but we don't have time to deep dive into that. And as I said, we do a lot of hand holding when you launch with us. So let's look at passion and let's look at expertise. And this is where you are going to start working a little bit. So let's start with the word passion first, with what fires you up. What excites you in the world, and what would you do tomorrow if you had absolutely no responsibilities, nothing to do? What exactly would you want to do, and what are your passions in life? And I'm asking you those questions now. So please think about it, because you're going to start writing that down in a moment. So to really start challenging yourself, think about not just your top one passion, the top one thing you enjoy doing. Think about 2 or 3 passions. It's very important that we come up with more than one, and you'll see why later on. And write down a lot of them. And usually when I do this activity, I set my watch to 5 minutes, and I take a full 5 minutes to list those passions. Obviously, we're not going to do it here. You can imagine silence for 5 minutes on a live call. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to quickly note down, brainstorm. Don't question yourself. Just brainstorm and write down, what are those top passions you have? If you have all the money in the world, if you have no responsibilities, and if you can right now start doing what you really love doing and are passionate about, just write those down quickly on a piece of paper. I've started the time. We've got about 15 seconds left. And I would like to invite you to start sharing in the chat so that people can see what ideas are floating out there. Because as I said at the beginning, let's help each other, and let's trigger some thoughts here. Anybody, if you would like to share some of your passions in the list when you get a moment, after writing down at least 3 passions. Okay. Try and build up others from Judy. Inspire people on a true level. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. I know one of my passions are, believe it or not, over and above helping people to get the skills that they need to be successful is I love cooking. And I'm still going to do something about that. Inclusion, promotion, science, coaching, helping people. Wonderful. They're coming in. A lot of empowering and inspiring people. Research, excellent. Understand business problems and design solutions. Wonderful. Wonderful. Keep it going. Remember to make note of that, and we're going to refer to this in a moment as well. Solve problems. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that feedback. Now that we have a list of passions, we now need to look at what our expertise is. I've got my list of passions. Now what I would like you to do, again in real time, you take 5 minutes, you go and do a proper job, and you'll push through on this, because after 30 seconds, you might think I've got nothing else to write down, but I want you to keep on doing it. Now we're shifting from passion to expertise. What is your expertise? Write down at least 3, and please also start sharing that in the chat. Expertise could be, I'm an expert coach. I'm an expert in how to analyze data. I'm an expert in communication skills, etc. Let's get some expertise down. So you have your passions, put your expertise down, at least 3. I'm giving you 10 more seconds. And please start saying, oh, there we go. Some expertise coming through: strategy, coaching, telecommunication, telling jokes. Wonderful, Sean. But that's connecting, networking, creative thinking, brands, creativity, policy development. Wonderful. Mentoring and coaching. Just make sure we've got that down on paper next to your passions as well. Because what we are going to do now is going to be amazing. I'm just seeing some more coming in here. Wonderful. There's a lot coming in, Lloyd.
Loads.
Excellent. There's no word excellent again. I've decided I'm not dropping that word because it serves a great purpose. What you can do after this morning session, when you leave here, go and talk to family, go and talk to people, ask people you trust who can give you feedback on that. Something else I like doing as well is I listen out to the feedback I get from people in telling me, you should do this, you should offer a course on this, you should teach people on this. So go and reflect on that a little more. So now we're going to go back to these 3 circles that I've showed you earlier. We've written down our passions. We've written down our expertise. Now we are going to look at where they overlap. So you can see in these circles, you have your passions in the one circle, your expertise in the other circle. Just ignore market demand for a moment. Now reflect on those passions and expertise that you wrote down and look at where they start commingling, where there's an overlap between them. And where does your excitement commingle with your expertise and your passion? Try and see if there's something popping out to you. Because this, where they commingle and where you get excited about where they commingle, that is where we are starting to identify your winning topic. So reflect on that for a moment. To help you, I've prepared a couple of examples. So if for a moment we look at this example, passion, if you love helping people spread their message and one of your areas of expertise was podcasting, this is a hypothetical example. So I'm passionate about helping people spread their message and I'm an expert on podcasting. That is a lovely area where my passion and my expertise starts commingling. And this is now starting to guide me in a direction of where my winning course topic can lie. And after some brainstorming, I can then come up, and don't worry too much about the title. I'm just purposefully bringing the title in here at this point in time. I can come up with a title like A Podcaster's Paradise, where I help people spread their message through through podcasting. Now, another example includes that I'm passionate about business transformation, but specifically helping businesses transform exponentially. And my expertise is coaching. Now, can you see where those two can potentially start commingling here? And I can come up with a course topic on 10x coaching, where I help people or teach people and coach people to exponentially transform their organizations. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to quickly reflect your passions and your expertise, identify potential passion and expertise that commingles for us. It doesn't have to be perfect for the purpose of this morning's masterclass or today's masterclass. It might be evening somewhere. And it's just to get you going. And if you would like to, please you are more than welcome to share that with us in the Zoom chat. Again, you might just help somebody else trigger some thoughts elsewhere. So I'm looking at the chat. I'm giving you a few seconds. I know I'm asking a lot of you, and we are moving fast, but see if you can identify something. You don't have to come up with a full sentence. You can type in, as an example, coaching on life purpose. That's all you have to put in. So life purpose, helping people to achieve their life purpose could be a passion. Coaching is an expertise. Put that in there. Here we go. Coaching creative businesses. Thinking, oh, that's nice. Thinking differently about problems, understand problems. So Lloyd, you're passionate about solving problems and your expertise lies in helping people to think through the process, the mind aspect thereof. Great. Building partnerships for social change in your community. So the expertise there is, Lydia, I'm not saying that I'm translating this perfectly. You are an expert in building business partnerships, and you're passionate about the topic. Wonderful. Coaching people and to write a business book. Wonderful. Use expertise, knowledge to encourage new learners. Excellent. So do you see how understanding my passions and expertise, see where they commingle and what gets me excited, where my winning topic can start lying? There's nothing like teaching somebody based on a passion which you are, where you add an expertise to it as well. Don't undervalue your value contribution. All of us have are experts in some area. It's just that we have been confused by societal expectations that if I don't have a PhD, and I'm not saying this with any disrespect to people who have doctorates and so on, it's just that some of us feel that if I haven't written a book, if I don't have certain qualifications, I'm not an expert, therefore I cannot teach. That's not true. Wonderful stuff coming in here. Thank you so much for participating actively. Now, let's take a moment and reflect on where your passion and your expertise overlap again. Just look back at what you wrote down. You've shared a little bit with us in the chat. Just take 2 seconds quickly and see if you're happy with where you are, because we're going to work with what we've put down. Okay, good. I'm going to continue now. Now, also some prompts that will help you. I'm quickly going to share 3 of them here. Remember, you are getting this. Maybe this will help you further if you did struggle a little bit with the activity. You can ask yourself, how do you like spending your free time? What do you look forward to doing when you aren't doing it? These are very good clues for you to understand where your passion lies, where your expertise lies, and so on. Also, what magazines do you subscribe to? What topics do you like to learn about most? Lovely clues that you'll pick up there. And also simple thing like, what clubs or organizations do you belong to? And I've previously said, go and ask and think about what people are asking your advice about, the regular themes that come up there. Those are all clues that will help you define what that winning course topic is in terms of passion and the expertise and where they commingle. Now we've got a little bit of a rough draft version ready. So now we have to identify a niche for that big idea you have. And we'll use the example. We're going to run with the Podcaster's Paradise example throughout this masterclass today. So what we now need to do is identify a niche for that potential winning topic you started to identify. And you're going to identify a few things where your passions and areas of expertise overlap with regards to that specific topic. And then what you are going to do is that you now need to ensure that you have that niche. So there's various things that we can do to help us achieve that. So a good thing is to go and actually look and do a market proof of concept. Now, I immediately, as I said those words, dollar signs popped up in my mind. This doesn't cost you any money. It costs you a little bit of time to go and conduct some research. And we've got somebody on here who's passionate about research, as we saw, or an expert on doing research as well, as we saw in some of the chats that has come through. So, but instead of competing, you've got your workings in terms of a winning topic. Now, instead of competing against an established online course already out there that's talking to your passion and your expertise and that winning topic you're starting to formulating them, you need to ask, how can you maybe niche down into something that they're not doing or that they're not doing particularly well, because they're trying to do quite a broad, vague course thing. And you can do this very specific niche idea. So it's really going to serve your avatar, which is your ideal customer, at a higher level. So how can you identify that niche for your big idea is that next steps. And the steps we are going to consider in helping us doing that is we first have to identify the problems you are solving for your avatar. So with your list of topic in hand, you've got your list of topics there, at least have one in hand, you're ready to start narrowing down those options. Often once I do this activity quite a lot because I love continuously training and so on, and I end up with a list of topics, but I need to understand what the problem is I'm trying to solve. So to create a profitable premium offering, you first need to find problems your target customers are experiencing in relation to that winning topic you're starting to define, then determine how you can solve that problem. Now you're saying, Lisa, but how do I know what the problem is? Let's have a look at how we can find out what those problems are. So here are several things you can do to identify the problem. First one is have one-on-one conversations with your potential target market. Nothing prevents you from doing polls, having a little free masterclass where you ask for feedback. So make sure you find and create a framework for asking those questions that helps you uncover your pain points. Then use forums, and a very good forum to use is Quora, Quora, and I'm spelling it because my first language is not English, or find similar forums related to that niche. Then take a look at the discussions that are taking place around that niche, what questions people are asking, and what problems they have, and then also research keywords. Keywords is a very, very powerful in telling you a story of what the problems are that people are having related to your winning topic. And that's very much looking at the most searched keywords people are using, etc. Another little trick is go and find books on Amazon and go and read the reviews, the 5-star reviews, go and read the 4-star reviews, the 3-star, 2 and 1-star reviews. Pre-program your mind looking for negative words, and your mind will pick it up as you scan through those reviews. Those are problems. Also positive feedback, and find that in there. You are now starting to identify what the problems are that your future ideal customer has that you will solve with your winning topic. Now, research your competition as well. The presence of competition isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, and we should learn to embrace competition and also to talk to our competition. That's a different subject. It may actually show you that if you have competition for this topic that you would like to offer, that there is possibly a profitable niche available for you. So if there are other people already playing in that space, it's because people are buying it. You're just going to find out what the niche is for you in that. But you need to do a thorough analysis of competing sites. So draw up a spreadsheet, go and find all your competitors offering similar offerings, then go and drill down into looking at the feedback they are receiving, that they're offering, etc. And you will find gaps in that offering. And this will also help you move forward with all the previous steps on identifying what your niche offering will be. I hope this is making sense. You're getting this slide pack with my notes to help you and remind you of everything that you can do. So determine the profitability of your niches next. Now you've got a potential winning course topic with your passion and expertise. You now have done your research. You are starting to get clearer and clearer on what your niche could be within that. But I want to know that it's going to be profitable as well. So what's happening, by the way, while you are doing and executing all these steps, you're starting to narrowing down that topic to a single topic idea. You'll see when you take that passion and expertise overlay and you go and execute these steps, that it naturally flows into a single topic area where your niche lies, which still in passion and expertise that you've identified up front. So at this an idea of how much money you have the potential to make. And it's not always just about money. There's also profitability, etc., in play here, and your want and desire to help other people to be successful. Now you can go and look, and most of us might have heard of ClickBank. Is a great place to go and start doing your research. I would also recommend that you go into sites like other sites, I nearly gave some names, other training sites that offers similar training courses, and go and look at what other people are charging for similar courses. But compare apples with apples and pears with pears, not apples with pears and throw a banana in there, because it will just misguide you along the way. It's ClickBank, ClickBank. I just picked up on your notes there, Benjamin. There we go. Thank you very much, Lloyd. Now, once we've done all of that, we need to test our idea. You are now armed with all the information you need to choose your niche, and the only thing left to do is test your idea. Now, again, this is where a lot of course content creators makes the mistake to now rush away, and because they've done all this research, they spend hours, and it can take up to 180 hours to create a core offering. It will take you about 8 hours to create a good knowledge nugget, but you don't want to invest that time until you've tested your idea as well. Now, there's different ways of doing this. I'm going to talk to you about how we do this. We create pre-sales offerings, and we invite people to give us comments and feedback on what we have created as a framework for the course, etc. And also we ask people and share the content with people to give us feedback on the content that they have. And often it saves us time, because then we can adjust and then fine-tune our niche, so that by the time we invest time and effort in creating that course, we know we are hitting the sweet spot. And that's what we want to try and do before we start investing all that time in developing courses. Also do A and B split testing. So we test even the course title and course content with different structures and so on. Our community helps us a lot with achieving that. Now you've tested your idea, and you're seeing that you're hitting a sweet spot. Some final thoughts are: keep in mind that there isn't necessarily a perfect process of finding your niche. There's going to be trial and error. Our process, which I'm sharing with you here now, it's more success than trial and error if we follow the process. And you do want to invest the time to do your homework. None of us have the time available to waste time on something that's not going to solve a problem for somebody. Follow those processes. But take note, do not get stuck in the paralysis analysis of doing your research. You'll spend too much time on the planning phase, you miss the boat. As entrepreneurs, and whether you're an entrepreneur here today or not, the same statement is true for all of us. You need to become a good starter in anything you do. Rather get going and fail quick and course adjust until you get to that sweet spot. Now, with this in mind, quickly note down a few ideas on how you are going to identify a niche for your big idea. I've shared a few steps. I've shared doing research, looking at competitors. I also shared doing A and B testing, etc. Quickly share with us in the Zoom chat just one step you are going to take after this masterclass to go and confirm that this winning topic you started defining is actually a niche idea. Let's get some feedback in the Zoom chat quickly, shall we? Just one idea. Let's see what's coming in there. Well, I know Lloyd put the clickback link there. Research, definitely, Paul. What kind of research, Paul? You want to be a little bit more specific there for us, if you would like to? Client engagements, feedback, competitor research, gaps in the market. Absolutely. Go and see what those gaps are. Great. Research IT solution, online survey poll with my network. Absolutely. What we also help you to do is that we can run polls and do surveys into our community. That's all great feedback. Excellent. Good. So the next steps we're going to go over is very important. We've got a winning topic idea. We now, in inverted commas, have validated and confirmed the niche for that using some of the methods that I've shared. Now, the next step is we're going to go over is identifying what your avatar's number one problem is. And you'll see when you go through all those steps that I've spoken you through with, it's going to start becoming clear. You need to understand your avatar's number one problem if you want your course to get any kind of traction and momentum. If you're not solving a problem for your avatar, there's no reason why they should invest their time, effort, and money into your course. So, to do this, you need to listen to what your avatar is saying and doing, and there are many ways of finding this information. I've shared those ways with you. You can also use all that information and distill it a little bit further and use the research and take that into a poll as an example to confirm some of the ideas. Also, using the podcaster's paradise example again for a moment, you could, the problem that we're solving here is to help people remember, monetize, and grow their podcasting business. So what we can do in this example is that we can go to similar forums, podcasting forums that exist. We can join Facebook groups for podcasters. We can also do overall search questions on Google. You know, when you go and do search on Google for something to solve a problem you have, do the same. Pretend you have a problem, do the search and see what information is popping up at the top of the Google search engine. Go onto YouTube and do searches there as well. There's a fountain of information available when you go and search YouTube. So in a podcaster's example, if I hypothetically have done all of that, Facebook, podcast forums, etc., in this example, I might find that many people were struggling with growing their podcast audience and they're monetizing their podcast as well. And this then validates the niche research I have done earlier. So I'm not going to, therefore, do a generic podcast training course on how to expand your reach. My podcast course is going to be specific on monetization and growing your podcast as a result of that. So how do I grow and monetize my podcast is my avatars, in this example's number one problem. And in Podcaster's Paradise, my little title, I can teach them how to grow and monetize their podcast. Do you see how my niche becomes very specific here? So what your avatar will then hear, once you've done all that research and identified the problem, what they will then hear is the following. They will hear you're speaking directly to them because you know what their problem is. I know what your challenges are. I know what your struggles are. I have the solution for you. And what do you think your avatar or your target customer will do next? They will click buy now. And you will achieve two things here. One is you're helping to solve someone's problem because you're passionate about that, and you are starting to monetize your expertise, your knowledge, and your skills. So keeping your winning topic in mind quickly and subject to you completing the previous step back in real life, I would like you to note down what you perceive at this point in time. The number one problem is that your avatar have for this winning topic you are starting to formulate. Just reflect quickly. Look at that winning topic you started formulating. Pretend you did all the research that we spoke about. Just in your mind and in your opinion at this point in time, please go and validate that, because it's not about what you want to tell your avatar, it's what your avatar needs to tell you. What do you think that number one problem is that you're going to solve? Let's see here, some feedback there. Just look at, I'm giving it a few seconds for you to reflect. We are only talking about, Martina's asking, we're only talking about a knowledge nugget, which is the 5 to 6 minute content. One problem you're solving, because we're going to achieve one outcome here, and the outcome is to solve that problem. Thank you for asking for clarification, Martina. Let's see. This is a tough one, hey? And I'm so glad I'm not seeing feedback just popping up here. And the reason for that is we need to get out of the habit of having an inside-out focus in telling our customers what their problems are. We should adopt, and this is what we try to do here with these steps, adopt an outside-in focus. So go and confirm what the problem is that you're going to solve by doing all the research here. Excellent. Let's get going to the next steps. So now you're ready to create the solution for your problem. Remember, I started formulating my winning topic. I did research. I started coming up with a niche offering. I did further research in looking at what and asking my target customer what their problem is that I'm going to solve. I have all of that now. Now let's put a solution in place. So if you can be that person that is pinpointing and creating the best solution to your perfect avatar's number one problem, you are going to win. And they are going to win. A winning topic means it's a win-win for you and your avatar. Not only you are going to take something from this relationship, you want them first and foremost to benefit from investing in that knowledge nugget. And just quickly, everything we're discussing here, just a reminder, you can go and use for a core offering as well, not just a knowledge nugget. Now let's use the podcasting paradise example again for growing and monetizing their podcast. You can create video tutorials, detailed templates, interview success for people online, etc., as an initial stage to build its trust and establish your authority. This is not yet your premium offering, and we do this through masterclasses where our guest speakers come and talk. Now you are ready. You've built that trust. Now you are ready to offer your first premium offering, and you can do that again through having a video tutorial, a pre-recorded one, which acts as a green webinar as an example, which people invest in, or do a quick reference guide with a voiceover that you talk to for approximately 5 minutes, all the time working towards achieving your objectives. And we're going to look into that as well as solving that problem. So this is how you then go about creating a solution for your avatar. From a free offering where you build and establish trust, to now working towards your first knowledge nugget where you are going to solve that specific problem that you have identified. And finally, you are in a position now to finalize what that winning course topic is, because now I know a few things. I know what my passion and my expertise are and where they intertwine. I know what my niche offering is. I know what the problem is that I'm solving, and I'm starting to give consideration to how I'm going to solve that problem. And once you get to that stage, you are now ready to move on to the next step. And I'm going to ask Lloyd also just to share here in the chat our previous masterclass which we had on how to plan and execute a successful online workshop. Craig, Lloyd's going to share that link for us as well. Go and have a look at that, because that will provide you with that insight you will need, if I go back here just one slide, to start creating a solution and some of those free offerings before you get to your first knowledge nugget. So when it comes to writing your winning course topic, we use the winning course topic formula. Now, you have a rough outline. You've got some sense of potentially what the niche could be, which everything you need to go and confirm. So let's assume for a moment you went through all those processes, but at least you know where your passion and your expertise overlap. Now you're ready to define and write down what that winning course topic is. And the formula we use is my course on what that topic is helps your audience learn how to achieve a specific outcome so they can achieve a desirable benefit. Let me translate that for you into the podcasting example here. My course on podcasting helps content creators learn how to create, grow, and monetize their podcasts so they can reach more people and create a bigger impact. So this is my winning course topic formula. Now, here's your challenge. Have a go at writing your winning course topic formula quickly. Just take a few seconds, don't overthink it. Take that formula, and I've included the example there for you as well. Quickly have a go with what your winning course topic formula could possibly be. If you can master this one step today, that will achieve a lot. Well, start having a go at mastering it. So if anybody would like to share their winning course topic formula, you're more than welcome to come online. It's a lot to type. If you would like to unmute yourself and come online and have a go at sharing your winning course topic formula. Is anybody there who's brave enough? Grace, would you like to have a go? Angelique, I see you are unmuted. So I don't know. Is there anybody who would like to have a quick go? Lydia, Mike, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself. Who would like to have a go quickly? We have one here in the chat. Use the method, find the pain and twist the knife. Ah, wow, that says a lot. Got a few goosebumps going here, Alice.
I'm happy to try.
Yes, Mike.
So I have two things I'm working on. One, I would say, is cutting through the digital clutter, because that goes to my strengths, which is understanding digital marketing and marketing. And the other one is I'm working on a topic for a 7-step plan for small business owners. And I think I'm going to call it Action Now.
Cool. But yeah, so your course will be on, if you use that formula quickly for us, my course on, just take one of those examples.
Okay, so my course on marketing helps small business owners learn how to target their market in such a way that they can speak to them so that they can reach a larger audience and create more sales.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry, I've put you there on the spot.
No, that's fine.
But thank you so much for that. I see here from Gerrit, my course on clarity of vision helps distressed CEOs to detail their business vision so they can lead their people better. Wow, that's also lovely. Wonderful. So this is a very important step for you to complete before you move on to the next phase. Else you are going to miss that sweet spot. Quickly from Sean, our network products help you save on your network cost. And this does not mean reducing your IT team. In fact, you can give them promotions. Sean, I think you're going to pick up a lot of business there. That's also another good one. So thank you to those of you who've shared with us, and thank you to everyone who's also having a go at it. And the last one here, my course on understanding problems helps businesses to achieve genuine change, growth, so they can continue to focus on their core offering. It's now flowing in. I would love to go through all of them, and I'm going to go through all the chats here and even contact you directly if you would like to do that. Now, we've got our winning course topic. Please don't stop. I see that it's still coming in there, Lloyd. It's wonderful. So now we're ready to create our knowledge nugget structure. So now you're saying, I have an online course idea and a topic. Now what? There's something about taking this next step that seems to be an insurmountable challenge for most of us. Most would-be online course creators and even experienced one give up at this point in time, but not you. So now we are going to talk and take that very first step of making your knowledge nugget a reality by designing your structure. So when you outline your course structure, you will create clarity and confidence later when it comes to creating that actual content. Let's dig into that immediately. The mountain of the content must not be that mountain. It will actually become such an achievable challenge to overcome in your mind once you follow the following process. Good. So for the purpose, again, for today, we're just going to focus on a knowledge nugget. I'm not going to repeat the characteristics. Just keep in mind one outcome that we want to achieve here. And again, you can use this for your more in-depth courses as well. Now, there are 4 pillars involved in defining your knowledge nugget structure. And we are now finally going to get to the point where we are going to also look at how we can create the content for that. I'm going to skip over these characteristics quickly. Let's have a look at the 4 pillars involved in defining your knowledge structure. The first pillar is to identify your target audience. And guess what? We've done it. And we've done a good job at it because we went and did the research. We followed the steps that I've shared, and we've invested the time to do that. The next pillar is to clarify your learning objective. One learning objective. And then for a knowledge nugget, then define the actions you would like your audience to take immediately after they've completed your knowledge nugget. I'm going to remind you, because I know there's some serious content creators on here as well, you can use this for your core offerings as well. So here, third pillar, what's the action I would like my target audience to take immediately after they've completed my knowledge nugget? And then what are those long-term outcomes that I would like my target audience to achieve after they've implemented that action they took immediately after they've completed my nugget? Let's go a little bit deeper into that, because the sum of these pillars gives you your best selling, winning knowledge nugget. Now, we've done the work on identifying our target audience, and this led to us understanding in terms of that podcast. The example is, how do I monetize my podcast? I left out grow here because it's 2 objectives. I'll have a separate nugget on how do I grow my podcast. Now, you should by now have your winning target, although it's in a very rough format, but please keep that in mind in terms of the next pillars that we are going to have a look at. The second pillar requires that we clarify your learning objective. So here we look both at our audience objective, knowledge nugget, one objective, but also we're going to look at what your objective, one objective is, for the reasons you are offering this knowledge nugget. Don't confuse now, but now you say it's 2 objectives. It's one learning objective for your audience, and you also have an objective that you would like to achieve. Now, the audience objectives includes the following questions that you may want to ask. What is the audience objectives for completing this nugget? What is that problem they have? You've done that. You've done the work. You know what that problem is you're going to solve. What is it that they want to achieve in solving that problem, and how would they like to benefit from that? Asking these questions will help you identify what that objective is for your audience for completing your nugget. Now, your objective nugget is, what is this nugget going to do? Is it going to tell them? Is it going to inform them? Are you going to sell something, sell an idea or concept, or are you going to persuade them? Are you going to use your nugget as a consulting role or a coaching role, or are you going to convince them to start doing something differently, something new? You need to be clear on your objective. And also ask yourself, what is it that you would like to achieve? How will your student, your target audience, benefit from this nugget? Now, let's quickly have a look at the podcasting example. Now, from my audience perspective, this is all hypothetically speaking, so don't be too critical on the examples I have here. My target audience might want to learn one direct podcast monetization strategy only, because there are many, and it's a direct monetization strategy. They only want to learn one. And then my objective for offering this is that I would like them, if they see I add value to them, that they will invest in my full offering. Now, pillar 3, keep your winning topic in mind, which you started working on. Pillar 3 says, let's define the actions now that I would like my target audience to take immediately after completing my knowledge nugget. So the steps, the action I want them to take immediately after they have completed it. So in the podcast example is I want my target audience to, once they've completed my knowledge nugget, to implement that direct podcast monetization strategy I'm going to share with them. And also in my podcast, I'm showing them how to use it immediately after this. And the long-term outcome is that I want them, their podcast offering, to start making a profit. Now that's my long-term outcome. And that's a difference between the action I want them to take immediately after completing my nugget and then the long-term outcome, the benefits that they will achieve. Now, if I get this right, I have created such tremendous value to my target audience that they will come back. I'm making a change. I'm contributing to them and their success, and they will come back to me for more. I hope this makes sense. Quickly reflect on what I've shared with you. Just say, do you think, yes or no, that these 4 pillars will help you take that niche winning topic idea to the next level of being a successful offering, but also that it can start contributing towards your structure? And if you don't see the structure part yet, don't worry, I'm going to show that in a moment. So just yes, will these pillars play a role? Absolutely. Thanks, Paul. Good. Thanks, Keys. Yeah, absolutely. And we hold your hands through defining this. Now, let's take it to the next step. Now we are ready to create our knowledge nugget outline. So the 4 steps that will help us get there are the following. Step 1 is we're going to get our thoughts on paper. Step 2 is we are then going to group and label our thoughts, keeping the pillars in mind all the time. We'll sequence our thoughts and then we'll make the outline. So in getting our thoughts on paper, we use 2 different methods, intuitive and analytical methods. Now, an intuitive method is obviously where you rely on your intuition, also based on the research that you've done up front. And you can use mind mapping, brainstorming, free writing, sticky notes, index cards, or a combination thereof. And from an analytical method, we use focusing, focus groups as an example, or we ask ourselves the 5 wives and 1 husband questions, or the 5 whiskeys and 1 hotel question, which translated is the 5 W's and the how. So ask yourself those questions when you get to analyzing what the content structure should be for your course. Now, let's quickly remind ourselves of our podcasting example. Then we'll use those 4 steps against that. My pillar 1 is, my audience is, they want to learn how to monetize their podcast. Their objective is to obtain 1 direct podcast monetizer, to learn 1 direct podcast monetization strategy. Mine is to get them to add value to them so they invest more in my full learning offering. I want them to go away, pillar 3, and implement this monetization strategy that they are going to acquire. And the long term is so that they can benefit. Let's use this case study to then take the intuitive method in getting to writing up our structure, or content structure. So I like using post-its. So the first thing I would do is I get a pile of post-its and I start writing down thoughts. Remember, I've done all of the research leading up to this point. I'm clear on what my 4 pillars are. Now I'm writing down thoughts without judgment, without analyzing them, just putting it down on little post-its, and I'm keeping it simple here. So let's say I came up with 4 thoughts for the purpose of this activity. My next step now is to take those 4 steps and group and label them. So I quickly looked at where something similar, so I see select a strategy really goes with this. One last comment I have with direct podcast monetization strategies. I'm happy with the rest. Now I have to put it in a sequence because this is the order in which I'm going to present my content. So I quickly reordered, and you would see there was a slight shift. Actually, 1 and 2 just swapped. It was just coincidental, but it's very important that you put your sequence your thoughts in either logical order or what will make sense for the purpose of your knowledge nugget. So it could be a process order, it could be a contrast and a comparison order, etc. Now, once I've completed this activity, I'm ready to bounce into something that might look familiar to some of you, but I'm not going there immediately. I'm now ready to create my first draft outline for my course, for my knowledge nugget. So I'm going to quick consideration to, again, remind myself of what the objectives are for that, my audience objective and my objective for doing this. I'm going to quick remind myself of what the different lecture formats are that I can use. There's a list there, also in terms of different resource materials that I can use. Then I get down to doing my outline structure. Very simple stuff here for Knowledge Nugget, but obviously for your more core offerings, we'll go into a lot more detail here. But the same remains applicable. I have an opening, a body, and conclusion. I'm simplifying this. Opening, body, conclusion. In my opening, I have my welcome in my introduction, and where I'll state what the objective of the course is. Then in the body, you remember my 3 main points that I had? You're now seeing them there in the body. And finally, I have the summary of this knowledge nugget. Simple, isn't it? And we communicate it. The only thing I'm going to add now is the detail for each of those bullet points. But now I have created my knowledge nugget structure. And the next step is very easy in terms of adding content. One last point to remember here is that we focus the time allocation here or the content allocation is 5 to 10% for the opening and for the conclusion, and then the bulk goes into the body of the structure. Do you see how those 4 pillars leading up to the 4 pillars and then taking the 4 pillars further to brainstorming your structure helps you with defining your content structure? Are you ready to do this with us? Are you ready to take that first step to monetize with us? We hold your hand all the way through here to get you through to this point and beyond. I have quite a few more things here to talk about. You're now ready to write the content. You're going to put your first draft together. You're going to edit that draft. We work with you on all of these steps. Then also you're going to finally put your slides together. And there's some useful tips that we always share with people as well, like keeping it short and to the point, how you use the colors, how you choose the right font, etc., etc. The contrast, if you use text on images, how to bring that out. But we take you through all of these, and I'm not going to spend time on this because this is what we work through with you on. What I am going to leave you with is that remember, people remember things in 3s. It's a psychological fact. Limit the elements, and you saw in my structure, I had 1, 2, 3 main areas, and then your SIP points, your SIP headings to 3 as well. The purpose of the knowledge nugget is for the retention of that knowledge so that I can help my target audience solve a problem they have right now. If they forget that content I showed them and taught them on because I had too many outcomes, too many objectives, I had too much content, they will forget. People remember things in 3s. Don't worry, you're getting this presentation and you'll see all the detail in that as well. I want to get to this as well in terms of how you present your knowledge nugget. I am actually a very shy person, believe it or not. It took a lot for me to get to this point where I can actually do this kind of thing. And I also don't think I have the best voiceover. I know Mike will not hire my voice. So I did a lot of research in finding AI voiceovers. We will also take you through this process in how you can use AI as a professional voiceover. There are some excellent tools available. I am sharing the one I'm using with you. Lloyd can just pop that for us in there. Thank you. I see you did that. Now, would you like to take your first step? And there's a lot of people on here who's already doing this. But we can help you elevate that pitch. We can help you take your offering to the next level. And the reason we are doing this as ExoFutures Academy and the Democratizing Entrepreneurship in Africa community is because you can help our community members to be successful. Now, imagine if we help people to be successful, how many problems that can be solved, what this world will look like. From our purpose specifically is we're democratizing entrepreneurship, and one of the main challenges that entrepreneurship have, and I can give you the research papers, is not finance. A barrier to entry for people into entrepreneurship is skills. Now the reason you're here is you believe you have the skills, the knowledge, and the experience and expertise to share. Join us in our journey to democratize entrepreneurship by sharing the skills while you earn and benefit at the same time. So I would like to ask you, if you are interested in working with us, we will also help you promote. We invest the time, we invest the money into marketing as well, your knowledge nuggets, and eventually your core offerings as well. Talk to us. Lloyd is sharing the registration link there. This is just a name, surname, email address, and telephone number I'm asking. And I'm also asking there, what's your topic idea at this point in time? We will take you through this journey with us. You are getting this presentation and all the notes. So yes, there was a lot to digest, and it comes firsthand to us because we have been doing this for a while. And I've been personally doing this for a long, long, long time. I know I look 21, and we'll leave it there, but I've been doing this for a number of decades. And we can truly help you to help become successful in monetizing your business. And I'm happy to talk to you about how we implement this relationship. So are there anybody who feel that they would like to talk to us going forward? Just say yes in the chat. I'm going to scan that after this meeting, and I can contact you directly if you don't want to complete that short form. But also at this point in time, are there any questions? Great, thank you for all the yeses coming in there. Some people on this call might tell you that I'll become your worst nightmare in keeping you accountable. I have adopted this nickname, Miss Accountability, but it comes with lots of love and with great purpose and intent. So excellent. Please complete that form. The link has been shared. I think you might have to share that again, Lloyd, in case some people missed that. So in summary, we looked at what a knowledge nugget is, because that was the purpose of today. We also then reminded ourselves of what the benefits are for monetizing your skills, your expertise, and your knowledge. And then finally, I took you through very quickly the 6 steps. For me, it was important to share the first couple of steps with you so that you can see how you can transition from identifying what that winning course topic is to a structure. That means you've climbed that mountain. You're there, you're at the top, you've summited. Now let's take you to that next level. So I don't know if there are any questions at this point in time, Lloyd.
Liesl, no questions. I think everybody's just processing and digesting what's been shared. I think it was a lot, as was commented, it was a lot, and I think it's really got people's juices flowing, their brain juices flowing, which is, I think, great. Clearly, people are quite excited. So,
excellent. Yeah, thanks so much for that. So, what I promised last week's masterclass, and because we practice an abundance mindset, is that because if you attended last week and because you are here today as well, you are going to get a coaching session with me, one-on-one coaching session. I will personally, with the team, and we've got team members present here today, Marbello and Mike, we will personally hold your hands through this process to help you successfully monetize your expertise, so that you can help other people to be successful, because you are going to share your experience, your expertise, and your skills. So I've got your names. I have the participants list. I'm going to check who would like to take this forward with us, and I will be in contact with you during the course of next week so that we can take it to the next steps. But as always, we have our masterclasses, and you are also welcome to come and become a guest speaker. This is where the journey starts. If you have something to share, join us. I'm sharing my email address later on as well. Now, Nikki Stewart is a wonderful woman. It's been such a pleasure meeting her and working with her. And her masterclass next week on Identify, Solve, and Implement is a masterclass where she's going to share the necessary steps a business requires. Doesn't matter what the size of your business is. And whether you're also a solopreneur, you'll benefit from this. Whether you're working in an organization, you'll benefit from this. The steps you need to ensure future growth and customer retention and staff alignment with your vision. She is a genius at this, and I've spent some time working with her recently as well, and I get goosebumps. Her desire to help you succeed, to pivot, is absolutely inspiring. So Lloyd has also shared that link with you. Please register and join us. And then also in terms of contacting us, there's my email address, Craig's email address as well. If you want to talk to us further, if you want more information, if you want me to take you through some content here again, I'm very, very happy to do that. And then lastly, also join us, become part of our community if you are not already. There's the guest speaker link as well, which Lloyd has shared with you. Come and share. People love learning from our community, and also join our LinkedIn community. And then all of the assets from every masterclass, the handouts, the video clips, we break these down into little free nuggets as well, will be available, and this masterclass will be available by close of business on Friday. Lloyd, I don't know if you have anything else there, and then I think I'm going to wrap up.
Nothing else from my side. I just reshared the link so that people can register to complete the knowledge nuggets. So the link's there. So hopefully everybody's going to click and submit their details.
Yes, join us. Come monetize your expertise while you're giving back. People need to learn from you. Let's help everybody be successful, and all of us have a contribution to make. So thank you very much, Lloyd, for helping me out here this morning. Lloyd is also a community member, and we have our community members who put their hands up, jump in, because we all have one purpose in mind, and that is to democratize entrepreneurship in Africa. I would like to thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating actively today. You have that rough concept, that rough winning topic done now. Let's take it to the next step and to the next level. Have a wonderful weekend wherever you are in this world. And it was great to have you here this morning. Bye-bye, everybody. Lloyd, you can end.
Thanks very much, Liesl. Have a great weekend, everyone.